Think you've missed something from Hits 939's Bryce and Trace? Stress less. We've got you covered.
We welcome to the studio Dr. Mike from Sugarland Animal Hospital. A big good morning and welcome.
Well, good morning, Bryce and Trace. How are you?
Good.
We are good. Now, we got you in here, of course, the weather lately. It has been hot. We're all grumpy, complaining about it. And we want people to think about, of course, their pets because they feel the heat too.
Yes, pets don't always have the same coping mechanisms as us, and they don't have opposable thumbs, so they can't put down those windows in the car.
Yeah, and no air conditioning outside for them.
That's right.
Unless you've got a portable aircon that you put out in like a dog kennel or something like that.
That'd be
how
luxury,
cool would that
wouldn't
be?
it?
Yeah.
Very fancy if you do. Now, there's been a lot of articles going around the news and that lately about pet owners. I suppose the nicest way of saying it is poorly treating their pets because they're no different to us. And we've read, what is it, about 8 or something pets, or might even be more than that now, that we've lost in the past week or two due to the heat and not the proper care and love of treatment.
Well, the main concern, particularly in this hot weather, is the deaths in cars. RSPCA probably gets an average of 1,000 calls a year about animals trapped in
1,000
calls?
calls?
Yeah, well, they get quite busy, particularly over the summertime. And what happens is these poor little kids, we'll just leave Fluffy in the car for just a sec. I need to jump in, but what they don't realise, it takes
temperature gets
5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And say goodbye to Fluffy. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, what are some of the symptoms to look out for if your dog is overheating and hot?
Well, look, the first one is a bit of panting. You know, these poor kids, they don't really sweat like us.
Yeah.
The easiest way to get rid of heat is just puffing it out through their mouth.
Yeah.
They can sweat a little through the pores, but it's usually panting.
Well, like, I've got a border collie, and he's got a pretty thick coat. So in the heat, like my girlfriend and I were talking about clipping him. That was until we saw my mum's border collie get clipped, and they did a bad job. It was on the Gold Coast, so it wasn't even
Not local here.
It wasn't yeah.
But do you hose him down? Like if he's going, like you run, do you keep him cool?
Oh yeah, no, he loves a hose.
Yeah.
Anytime we even go in the vicinity of a hose, he just starts jumping around. He gets pumped. He knows what's coming.
He's a real water dog.
He was when he was a pup, but now we keep taking him down to Kuna on weekends for a swim. He's the biggest pussy you've ever seen.
A bit like his owner. Boom. So you make sure you look after it. And also, I read this story about this dog was on a runner, got trapped around a clothesline in the sun, couldn't get to water and passed away. Like, that is so sad.
Yeah, it's a very tragic story, and a lot of sometimes accidents happen that are usually without anyone's control. We've had a few interesting, well, no, I wouldn't say interesting, but no accidents are interesting.
Well,
but
a lot of people forget to care after their pet. It might seem like a stupid thing I've just said, but it really isn't, because you got to remember water bowls, things like that. Like we read something about a cold towel, like wet a towel and put it in a kennel. Like they go and lay in there in the shade and laying on a cool thing. Like they'd love it.
Yeah.
I think of them as little people, like little kids.
Now, also, I just said to you during the song, have you been busy lately? And you said you've been very busy with dog attacks. I thought I want to bring that up. So it's dogs out and about jumping into other people's yards.
We've had a real spate of them lately, and these poor kids are just sitting in the backyard, just minding their own business, and it's usually a pack of 2 jump in and...
Such a softie when it comes to
It's sad to hear because...
But keep your dogs in your yard. You let them roam and they jump into someone else's yard and kill another pet. That is not good.
Well, and sometimes they're accidentally let out or something like that, and we've had one of those, and you're like,
Are there any classes in town that sort of teach people how to properly look after a pet?
Well, general advice from your veterinarian is usually a must when you're first starting ownership with a pet. I would suggest going to your local veterinarian.
Because this is the thing. I remember a couple of years about in a previous job that I worked at, I was talking to a vet like yourself, and he suggested, and I actually the more I think about it now, I think it's a better idea that people have to pass a certain test or criteria to have a pet. Like you can get your dog from a breeder or a cat or whatever, or bird, whatever you want, but you have to have a standard that you have to meet to house a pet. What would you think about the government introducing something like that?
Yeah, well, definitely, it's certainly worth the discussion around that.
Because there's nothing worse than seeing a pet who's been mistreated and not fed, and that's like Bella here. She was an RSPCA dog. She got saved.
Lovely dog.
Yeah, and she's gorgeous. So it is summer. Look after your pets. Look after your pussycats as well, and dogs. Mike, thank you you've had some great advice there.
Well, I thank you for your time.
It's Breaky with Bryce and Trace.